welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Nwabi, and as per usual I am here to Nwabi. So on this lovely and beautiful day, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget to subscribe, and if you're not new to my channel, thank you so much for tuning back in today's video. In today's video, what we're going to be doing is I am going to be baking some cake, and I'm going to be cooking for the Sunday because it is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. And so I thought, you know what, I haven't posted a video in a while, and because of quarantine, let me just show you guys something that I would be or get up to during quarantine, which you can also get up to. I will be following recipes, so I'm going to show you guys how I do everything. And in today's baking, I'm going to be baking, I want to bake a 3-layer cake with custard buttercream filling and vanilla buttercream frosting with chocolate ganache. But I don't know if I'm too ambitious or whatever. I am going to be following recipes, and I'm going to be showing you guys how it turned out. And the 3 layers, I want to make a vanilla layer, I want to make a red velvet layer, and I'm gonna make a chocolate layer. So let's take this journey together. If you like baking, if you like being in the kitchen, you can continue watching this video. Thank you. To get started, I'm going to be starting with the custard buttercream filling that I'm going to be filling the cakes with. This is because the custard has to cool before you mix it with the butter and before you put it on the cake. So I just want to get started with the custard and then put it aside and get everything going with everything else. So the ingredients you're going to need for the custard part of the buttercream is you're going to need 150 ml of milk. So 150 ml of milk is equivalent to a half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of milk. You're going to need 100 grams of granulated sugar. I used caster sugar because caster sugar is much better in terms of the refinery. It's much finer than normal sugar. So I don't think they sell granulated sugar in South Africa, so that's why I used the caster sugar. And then you're going to need 3 egg yolks. So I've got 3 egg yolks here, and I'm also going to show you guys how I separated the egg yolks as a video whilst I'm doing everything. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. So the cornstarch I used is the maizena corn flour. That's the cornstarch I used. You need 2 tablespoons of it, and lastly you need a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla essence because you want this to be a vanilla custard buttercream. So you're going to definitely infuse the vanilla essence with the milk. Let's get started with this. Okay guys, what you're going to need is a whisk and a saucepan, and on low heat, which is like a level of 2, you're just going to whisk that sugar and milk together. And then you're going to take your egg yolk and you're going to whisk that with the cornstarch that you had, and you want to whisk it until it has a foamy consistency. And then you're going to take about 2 tablespoons of that milk sugar mixture whilst it's still cold. You're going to put that in the egg yolk cornstarch mixture. You're going to whisk that until you get it's foamy and it looks like it has bubbles on top. Alright, whilst that milk and sugar combination is still on low to medium heat, you just want to whisk it until the sugar is dissolved, and low to medium is about a 2 at a 6 level stove. And then when the sugar is melted, you just want to close that milk sugar mix and put it on high heat so you can get the milk bubbled up and heated up. High heat for me is about a level 4 because our stove is quite strong. And then once you see bubbles forming in the milk, you don't want it to overspill, so you're just going to take that and you're going to put it in the egg yolk cornstarch mixture that you had whisked at the beginning.
And then when you're done that, you're just going to whisk it a little bit. Then you're going to put it back onto the heated stove, and you're going to stir that until it thickens and it has like a thick custard like consistency. So you're just going to stir that, and you want to keep whisking, especially when you're pouring the hot milk into your egg yolk mixture. You want to make sure that the egg yolk does not scramble. So you make sure that you're whisking thoroughly as you're pouring the hot milk into the egg yolk, and you're just going to keep mixing. And the reason why you don't want to stop whisking and mixing whilst it's on heat is because you don't want it to form lumps and bubbles. And then you're going to see that your custard is in a thick consistency. Once your custard is set, you're just going to put it in a bowl, and you're going to take cling wrap and put it right on top of it. Make sure that the cling wrap is right on top because you don't want your custard to form a skin, and you put it in the fridge.
So whilst I'm waiting for the custard to cool on the side, it's currently in the fridge, I'm going to be fixing up the vanilla cake sponge. So what I need here is I need 2¼ cups of flour. I need half a cup. Is it half a cup? Just give me a second. Okay, yes, I'm gonna need 1 cup of granulated sugar, so it's that custard sugar. I'm gonna need 3/4 cups of softened butter. So softened butter is like not melted butter, but it's like butter where you take it out of the fridge, it chills, it stays at room temperature for a little while, and then you use it. Please don't mind the background noise. Dishes are being washed right now and they can't stop that process, so sorry about that. I'm going to need 2 large eggs. I've got 2 large eggs in here. I have 3/4 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and I have 3/4 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. So this recipe says baking soda, however in South Africa I think the baking soda equivalent is bicarbonate of soda. I am going to combine everything into making the sponge. So let's take the step-by-step process. I'm going to be using my hand mixer. You can get this at Game or ShopRite or Checkers or Pick n Pay. It's around about 400 Rand for the basic one. There's better looking ones, comes with a bowl, but I'm not going to be using that bowl because that bowl's a little bit too small. There's better ones, so you can get them at whatever like hyper store that you want to get them at. So let's do this.
Alright, first you're going to mix your dry ingredients, and then you're just going to mix them together with the electric beater for about 30 seconds. And then once you're done, you're going to take the butter and mix it for about a minute with the flour until the flour looks like wet sand on the beach. So if you've been to the beach, you know how wet sand looks. That's how your flour and butter combination must look.
Forgot to mention that you must also have Greek yogurt or buttermilk, but because I didn't know that, so I just have whipped cream. This is just to make the sponge airy and fluffy, and I know that this is full cream, it's dessert topping, only whip. I know that cream, once whipped, it's very airy and fluffy, so it's gonna have the same effect as the Greek yogurt. And also you're just going to need 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla essence.
Next, you're going to beat in the eggs. So you're going to beat the eggs one by one, and you want to make sure that you take like a spoon or something and scrape the bottom of the bowl to make sure that everything is getting mixed with the eggs. Thereafter, you're going to add the rest of the wet ingredients, that being the vanilla essence, the buttermilk, and the normal milk, and you're just going to beat that until there's a thick consistency and it looks like batter that's ready for the pan.
I've already this is delicious. Okay. We have our batter. That's our batter for the vanilla sponge. I've already lined my cake tin. I don't know the size of this cake tin shape, I'm not even going to lie, but I've lined it with butter and flour so that it doesn't stick when it bakes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wooden spoon and I'm just going to pour, oh, this is so delicious. Just going to pour the batter in here. batter's nice and thick, so hopefully it's not dry and it's moist due to the cream. But I'm going to be adding it in here, and I'm just going to smooth it out so that everything is level, so that it bakes properly. Also, I was preheating my oven at 180 degrees Celsius. So you preheat your oven whilst you are making the batter, so that the batter doesn't stay in the pan for long before getting baked. And I'm just gonna scrape the rest of the batter from the bowl. Oh, this is looking delicious. So that's my first layer, vanilla cake. I'm just gonna take another spoon, and I'm just going to take off this from the spoon, from the wooden spoon, and spread it. Now I'm just gonna bake for 30 to 40 minutes, or until when you test it, no batter is coming out.
Okay guys, you're going to pop your vanilla layer in for 40 minutes. And now this is the the chocolate layer. I forgot to turn my microphone on, guys, so apologies. I only realized this in editing, and that is why I'm voice overing the rest of this video. So for that recipe for the chocolate cake, you're just gonna need some flour, some cocoa, some eggs, some cream, and some milk with melted butter this time. And I'm lining my pan with a cocoa batter, which is mixing cocoa with butter. This is just so that the batter does not stick to the pan. And you mix everything just like you mixed the vanilla layer, and then you just bake for 35 minutes. Next, guys, it's the red velvet layer. So you're just going to need some flour, you're going to need some eggs, you're going to need the 3 combo, and this time that 3 combo of baking soda, baking powder, and salt, that also has 2 tablespoons of cocoa. You're definitely going to need red food coloring, and this time I'm using vegetable oil instead of butter, and you're also going to have some milk with this batter. So in this batter, you mix it differently from the vanilla and the chocolate batter. You're going to have to mix the wet ingredients first, then you add the dry ingredients into the wet batter. You batter it up, and once it's ready, you're going to pop that in the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. Alright guys, so now we're going to be mixing the buttercream. You're just going to need about 350 grams of butter, and you're just going to beat that up, and you're going to take the custard that you had in the fridge, and you're just going to put 1 tablespoon at a time, and you're going to beat it with the butter. Remember, before you put in the custard into the buttercream, you want to beat that butter so light and fluffy that it changes color and it's no longer the strong yellow, and it's like a lighter yellow. And then you beat in the custard, and once you've beaten the custard, you can pour extra bit of vanilla essence into the buttercream, and this is the vanilla buttercream that we're going to be using for the cake. Alright, so your cake layers should have been cooled down by now because you were busy with other things, and then you're just going to cut out the top part so that it is flat when you are going to lay that cake. And I'm just cutting the layers. I'm cutting from the chocolate layer as well, and then I'm also going to cut from the red velvet layer. This is when things started going south, guys. Hey, like things just went south because I realized some of the cake wasn't that cooled and some of the cake just started falling apart, but that's not the point. Okay guys, at this point, this is where I realized like everything flopped. So my cake, my red velvet layer fell apart. Like it started just crumbling off because it was too hot. So I had to cut the rest of the layers around, as you can see, into the same size of it. And then also I decided to use my vanilla buttercream, which I didn't show myself making. It's just butter, icing sugar, and vanilla essence beat together. I decided to use that as the filling layer and my custard buttercream as the outside frosting. And as you can see, it's a bit of a mess because my piping bag broke and everything was just falling apart. So I just lined the cake with the vanilla custard layer.
That's cake, yeah. It's not what I thought it would be. But hey, I'm done. Hopefully it tastes as good as I think it should. Not how it looks, but this buttercream is amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see me do more of these in the kitchen, let's get cooking videos, please comment down below and say so. Until next time guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and comment and subscribe.